Queen, Crazy Little Thing Called Love is another Bawa boy from Mumbai City who made it big, Freddie Mercury. And I have one sitting here right here with me. It's Salman Rushdie. Congratulations. Okay, now I'm going to pick out two winners from Twitter. You guys, sorry, all you SMSers. The next one, the last book will be an SMS giveaway, okay? Thank you very much, Nayantara. You said Joseph Anton. That's absolutely correct. And thank you very much, Rajiv Mahajan. His alias was Joseph Anton. So you get autographed copies of Midnight's Children from Salman Rushdie. More conversations.
Good morning, Mumbai, and you're with Hrishi.k.
Radio 1.
I tell you who I found fascinating in the book and eventually in the film too, which is the nanny Mary. Mm-hmm. Did you have a nanny like that when you were growing up here in Mumbai?
Well, she wasn't a criminal, but
Sure.
yeah. No, I had a Mangalorean ayah who actually was with our family for a long time and helped to bring up both me and my three sisters, so became really like a member of our family. Lived in Bombay. She lived to the incredible old age of about 105 or something, so and she was tiny, physically, really, really small. But I was very close to her, and yes, I mean, the character in the novel in part came from her, but of course her life in the novel is much more troubled.
Do you get that from family a lot? Did your dad, for example, come and say, I'm not happy with what you've done with me and Ahmed Sinai? And did your mom say, Mumtaz, is it me? I don't like it.
No, actually, my mother was extremely sophisticated and said right away. She said, I can tell it's just a story. This isn't me. That isn't your father. That's etc. It's a story. And my father, who was the one with the English literature degree, got much more irritated. But then all his friends started complimenting him, so he shut up.
Bombay to Karachi as a little boy on a vessel, on a boat, on a ferry. I just did a Google on you, and that is one remarkable thing that came up. How often did you do that, Bombay to Karachi? I
can't remember exactly how, but quite often, because, like many Muslim families, our family was cut in half by partition, and both my mother's sisters, both my aunts, were in Pakistan and their families, so we used to go on these little rusty, really terrible ships. They're called Sabarbati and Saraswati. They used to cruise up and down the coast. I mean, it was fun though as kids, to go on that sea ride.
Totally unrelated. What is it that you want to improve about Mumbai city? It can be about our mindset. It can be about our infrastructure. Anything that comes to mind.
I don't know. I mean, well, looking out of the window, the traffic comes to mind.
If you had a magic wand.
Yes, if I had a magic wand, I'd get rid of the cars, but. No, I mean, the thing is, it's grown so fast and in such an uncontrolled way that there's areas of the city which feel very unplanned, unthought out. And I think that's a problem, but a bit late now.
Okay, The Who, a massive fan, Salman Rushdie. Talk about them. Did you see them in concert?
I have seen them, yes, I have seen them. And, I mean, I think, they get, because of the enormous sort of attention given to the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. I mean, sometimes you think isn't enough attention given to the Who, but they were the other, I think, great band of that period.
Mm-hmm. And the music in Midnight's Children, I mean, that's got to be something which fascinated you. I love Nitin Sawhney's Nadiya Bheri Bhai.
Yeah. You see, I think Nitin was such a brilliant choice by Deepa, because he is a composer who's very steeped in the classical tradition of Indian music, but he's a very contemporary composer, so he can make contemporary music that is very aware of the rich classic. We wanted a soundtrack that didn't just feel kind of folkloristic, that it felt of today, but that was familiar with that tradition, and I think he's done the most wonderful job.
Okay, Pinball Wizard here, dedicated to Salman Rushdie, a Who fan. 9:31, more conversation with a Booker of Bookers winner on the other side.
This is Good Morning Mumbai, and you're with Hrishi.k.
Radio 1.
Salman Rushdie is my guest today, and I did a wiki, and I'm going through the list of honors and citations and awards, and there's everything there, but there's no Nobel Prize. Is there a lacuna? Is there a vacuum in Salman Rushdie's life?
I think you must discuss that with the Swedish Academy.
The Swedes don't like it too much.
What can I know? Actually, I'm, as they say, big in Sweden. with prizes, you have to be happy when they show up and not mind too much when they don't.
And the biggest prize that showed up at the door was the knighthood. That must have been fun, taking your whole family and getting a tip by a sword.
Yes, that's right. And she didn't miss, fortunately.
Sir Salman Rushdie. Well, Sir Salman Rushdie, your friend Rahul Bose is in the film and he plays General Zulfikar. And your thoughts on him?
Well, I mean, Rahul just does the most wonderful job. I mean, he's one of the most precise incarnations of the character from the book, I think. The character of the Pakistani General Zulfikar. And actually, about 15, 16 years ago, there was an earlier plan to make a BBC miniseries out of Midnight's Children. And at that time, Rahul was going to play the lead. He was going to play Salim. And that sort of fell apart for various reasons. And then 15 years later, of course, we all get a little bit older. And I think by then we felt that we needed a younger actor in that part. But I was determined to have Rahul in the film. And he very kindly agreed to do this part and just does the most wonderful job.
And a Bob Dylan fan?
Me, yeah.
You were saying off the mic that you were almost frightened of meeting him the first time around. Tell my listeners about that.
Well, just, I've always loved his music ever since I was like 13 or 14 years old, and I just didn't want to take the chance of not liking him. I thought, if Bob Dylan turns out not to be a nice guy, it's the end of the world. So I thought it's better just to listen to the music.
I'm just curious to know, I mean, everybody's life has changed with the web, the internet, and that has got to be one of my questions. I mean, life as a writer must be so much simpler now instead of being surrounded in libraries with books all around you. Talk about that, please.
Well, certainly it makes certain kinds of research much easier, because you can get a lot of stuff. You could find a lot of stuff on the web, and I have used it as a research tool, and it's very useful. Unfortunately, one of the problems is that the internet only goes back a certain amount of time.
That's right.
And if you want to find out stuff from before the dawn of the information age, then it's very often not there. So you still have to rely on libraries. But it's certainly, unquestionably, I value it as a tool. Yeah.
What was this thing about Salman, about you taking on Facebook? You wanted to use your middle name on Facebook.
No, I mean, look, my name on my passport, my name is Ahmad Salman. Ahmad Salman Rushdie, and nobody has ever called me Ahmad or Ahmad Salman except my mother when she was angry with me. Come here, Ahmad Salman. Otherwise, never, Yeah. And at some point, Facebook completely randomly, without asking me, changed my name from Salman Rushdie to Ahmad Rushdie. And I thought, Ahmad Rushdie is a Pakistani pop star. And I had to fight a little bit to get my name back.
Oh, you could have just basked in the glory of being a pop star. We're going to play Tambourine Man from Bob Dylan. And Salman says, the lyrics to this?
Every word.
Every word. Lovely. Here we go. 94.3 Radio 1. Thank you so much. Your tweets are so lovely, all you guys. More thrilled about Salman's choice of music than about his words. That's got to be a first of sorts for Salman. Okay, now we were going through a whole lot of areas of your life in this particular interview, and one of the most amazing things that I've seen when I read your writing is that it talks of migration, that talks of every strata of society in India. You did travel through the length and breadth of the country before you wrote Midnight's Children.
Yeah,
Talk
I did.
about that. That must have been fascinating.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I had sold my first not very good science fiction novel. And I got a small amount of money for it, and I just thought I was going to use this money and try and make it go as far as I can, So I was living in London then. I flew to Bombay and I think I was here for 5 months or something. And I just went literally as cheaply as I could all over the country. I was in these sort of 15-hour bus rides with chickens vomiting on my feet. But it was fantastic for me because it was a way of really... After having been away for school and university, it was a way of sort of reconnecting. And out of that long period came the writing of Midnight's Children, which followed immediately after that.
It must be a big regret that you were not able to do that for the Moor's Last Sigh, because you were in exile, not writing a book about India, being in India, or having travelled.
Yeah, I was very nervous about it because I've always wanted to not write, foreigners' books. And one of the things that really, therefore, about that book makes me proud is that when it came out, I actually got phone calls from people here saying, you must have come in secretly and didn't tell us. Otherwise, how would you know all that stuff? And I thought, that's okay. That's a relief. Maybe I got away with it.
Now, as of now, What are you working on? I mean, the movie's over. Is there a new book in the offing? Is there some stage variety?
These two very big projects, which was my memoir, autobiography, Joseph Anton, and this movie, have taken up a lot of the last several years. And now, as you say, that both those projects, the book is published and the movie is sort of out. And so it's time for new work. I mean, I do have sort of germ of an idea for a novel, but it's very, it's just starting out. I don't even know what it is fully yet. And I'm a slow writer, I mean, books can take, Midnight Children took me 5 years to write, so who knows how long it'll take. But then I'm also developing a TV series in America with the cable network Showtime, sort of return to my roots, really, sort of crazy science fiction series. So we'll see how that goes.
Your favorite travel destination anywhere in the world, and your favorite travel destination in India? So, two parts to that question.
Oh, I've always really loved coming back to this city. I mean, I think there's something about the city in which you're born and raised that gives you that connection never goes away. So I think that would be almost the answer to both of the questions, really. But I'm not a very good sitting on beaches person,
Mountains?
I mean, I like to go where there's stuff to look at and do. I mean, I had a wonderful time in Brazil, I have to say. And I think that's one of the greatest countries I've ever visited.
There are more women there than men. Is that part of the reason?
That would obviously be the reason for it, yes.
but really, is it overhyped? I mean, Salman Rushdie, the ladies' man, the charming man, the ladies seem to fall for you very easily. I mean, look at Padma Lakshmi. I mean, every man would tell you that, wouldn't he?
Well, there's another side to that story. But it's, no, I mean, I've just been, just going through my life. I don't have that feeling of people falling at my feet,
But are you a ladies' man, really?
Nope, one at a time, that's my view. But it's, no, I mean, it's at this age to have had, I mean, I know 4 marriages, it's kind of disgraceful, and my children won't let me have another one.
You're not very good at this marriage thing.
They say, 4, Dad, it's enough now. So I think that's over, probably.
Okay, we're going to come back in one last Lego conversation with Salman Rushdie. For now, it's Aerosmith, Love in an Elevator. And might as well give out another question. There's just one more book left to give away. We gave out 2 on over SMS and 2 on Twitter. Here's your last chance to win a book. Now, at the beginning of this interview, if you heard it, it's very simple. But if you haven't heard it, you can still do your quick research. Salman talked about the school that he went to right here in Mumbai city. What's the school? 1 space, the name of the school, and your name, type that and send it to 53650. Aerosmith, Love in an Elevator. Aerosmith, Steven Tyler, Mr. Lips, Love in an Elevator. It's Salman Rushdie in the house. Okay. Now, gotta ask you about your kids.
Yes.
What are they doing? 2 sons, right?
2 sons, yeah. 2 sons, 18 years apart. Had a little rest in between.
There was a lot of interesting television in between. When there's no good TV, then, one more pops up.
Exactly. No, I mean, my older son, Zafar, he has his own, PR event management business in London, which seems to be doing very well, I'm happy to say. And my younger son, Milan, he's 15 and a half, and he's still at school. But he's very proud of the fact that he's just reached the point of being taller than me. So I tell him he's not really taller than me, it's just that he has more hair, but he is a little bit taller than me.
Get to see them often, or is it like...
No, I get to see them all the time. I mean, I still have a place in London. I go there quite often, and they come to New York, and, we're all very close. I mean, they're very close to each other, in spite of this big age gap, so it's nice.
And you're an academician now. You're at the Emory University. That must be fun. All these lovely little lassies having their crush on Salman Rushdie.
It all comes down to girls for you, doesn't it?
Why don't you understand? I'm trying to get an answer out of you, but it doesn't happen.
It's not going to happen. But no, I don't teach there very often. I'm there for a couple of weeks a year, but I actually quite enjoy it. The interaction with smart kids. It's fun.
My second favorite Salman Rushdie book is Haroon and the Sea of Stories, and it had a follow-up called Luca and the Fire of Life. Children's writing, magic realism.
Well, that's written for my boys, because in both cases those are their middle names. I mean, Zafar's middle name is Haroon, and Luca is Milan's middle name, so they have a book each. And I have to find, I could quite like to write a third one, but I don't have a child to write it for. So
never say never, Salman. Never say never.
No. On that subject, never.
Indian authors who write in English, who's your favorite and his or her best body of work?
Well, one of the writers I always admired before I had really done anything as a writer was Anita Desai. And for me, one of the great moments was that just about one of the very first reviews of Midnight's Children that came out anywhere was Anita Desai wrote a review of it in the Washington Post. And I remember reading it and thinking, oh my God, Anita Desai likes the book. Maybe it's good. And I still think she's a really extraordinary writer.
Salman, thank you very, very much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
I was a bit scared of meeting you, just like your Bob Dylan moment.
I'm not scary at all.
At all, yeah, I got to say that. Congratulations, Udit. You're the last winner today. The fifth book does go out to you. You're right. Your last four digits are 3288. You're right. It is the Cathedral John Connon School that Salman Rushdie went to. Have a lovely trip and, Midnight's Children. More power to you guys.
Thank you.